Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Legacy United Deluxe Class Sideburn from the Robots in Disguise universe. You can see him there in front of his box. Go ahead and put him off the side real quick and take a look at that box. Yeah, you can see Sideburn in his vehicle mode, flames in blue and all that stuff. You got Legacy United Transformers, his name, all that. On the top you have Legacy United. On the side you have his robot mode plus a close-up of his face right there. On this side you have half of the line-wide artwork and 40 years of Transformers. On the bottom you have manufacturing details and what's included. And on the back you have product shots and copyrights and warnings and all that stuff. Also includes instructions, which are pretty straightforward for the most part, although there's definitely a couple things which are like, it's not so much instructions so much as the toy already seems to be just full suffering from mold degradation, which is interesting considering it's only the second time we've seen it. Anyway, Sideburn. Yes, a new version of Robots in Disguise Sideburn, or Car Robots Speedbreaker if you wish. But yeah, getting in close real quick before we get into the other stuff. Yeah, you can see he's got, you know, it's kind of got the pretty much right head, although he kind of looks a bit dour. Yeah, you know, that guy's in, you know, hey, look, the restraining order finally came through and now he's sad because now no more red sports cars. But yeah, he's got the little yellow monocle thing, a bit of yellow right there on his head. He's got his engine chest red and silver and all that stuff. He's got the blues and whites and silvers and little white Autobot symbol. White legs, blue with white striping down here, the black feet. Well, this should be blue, but whatever. And he's got his weird like card cape, and then look, there's flames right there. They're also very hard to see, but there is some flame detailing right here on the chest as well, and some metallic blue and all that stuff. So also, yeah, they got the thing with the arms are kind of set back weirdly, but you know, nobody's perfect. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, Sideburn here is a little bit of a disappointment in some ways, just because, well, mostly because of the car mode. Because hey, guess what? They did nothing to change it. Like the only new sculpting here is the head from the Shadow Striker version. That's the only new sculpting. Everything else is identical, which is really disappointing, to be honest. But yeah, he does come with several accessories, including, hey, look, there's the roof and windshield and all that stuff as a shield, which yeah, can peg into his arm. If you want to be correct to Robots in Disguise, it's going to be his left arm. Yeah, you have to peg that in. Of course, it's multiple hinges, so it's kind of a pain to peg in because it wants to slip in whatnot instead of actually peg in, but it's doable eventually. And as you can have that right there, or like that, or whatever have you, depending, because, you know, it's going to be a little bit different from the original. And you have, well, this little gun thing, which, you know, you can hold one way or another, either like a gun, like that, or kind of as a something else. I'm not sure what you'd call it. Kind of, it was a bladed weapon kind of in the Robots in Disguise, but now it's not really bladed. So, well, it's kind of bladed, but not as easy. It's not as easy to tell. Plus, you got the bumper, which, you know, you can do a couple things here, including, you know, pegging on his arm if you want. I thought someone figured out how to get up on here, but I'm not sure what they did exactly. But they did something. I think actually, there's a slot there. I'm wondering if did they do that? I don't know. Didn't seem like. Wait, try. That, of course, there's the whole combination thing, you know, kind of to emulate the old missile launcher. You can just, you know, peg this onto the end right there, and then pop in his hand. There you go. Now you got that going on, and there you go for the accessories. But articulation-wise, head, ball joint is to left and right. You got up and down, although that's, yeah, it's all now not really wiggle weirdly enough. Shoulders are, again, they're kind of weird because of how they're attached. So you got forward, up that far. You have outward like this, and that's your shoulders because they'll are attached in the back. You do have bicep rotation. You do have about 90 degrees of elbow bend. You do have a wrist swivel. Waist swivel is there as well, pretty much unhindered. You do have hips going forward that far, back they can go that far if you get the cape out of the way. Outward, you have pretty much the full splits. You do have a thigh swivel right there. Knees can bend about 90 degrees, actually a little more so. And down here at the ankles, you do have about that much tilt, and they can go forward a lot just because of transformation. One thing I also, once again, neglected to talk about, because I always neglect this sort of thing, which is, hey, look, weapon storage a little bit. But yeah, this right here, there's a little peg right here. If you flip this particular thing up, hey, look, there's a peg hole. And you can peg this in like that and just kind of hide it away, I guess, if you want. So there you go. That's weapon storage if you prefer that. And yep, gonna put that right there, or I thought I was gonna put that right there. yeah, that's some weapon storage if you'd like. I'm gonna put it away, I think. There we go. So there you go. He's kind of, yeah, got the weird, he's kind of weird looking, but, you know, the original wasn't exactly the greatest looking thing either, to be honest, but hey, you know. He's in some ways disappointed because mostly, not the Robo. The Robo is actually kind of pretty decent and actually does look like the original, somewhat a modern interpretation of the original. In fact, well, here is the original. Well, kind of, this is the Car Robots version. Speedbreaker. A bit taller, weird, gangly. Pain in the butt to transform. Also a mess when it comes to kibble, but there you go on that. Yeah, here's your Shadow Striker, which, yeah, again, only difference is the head. And yeah, again, you can, you know, the whole, you can plug that in either arm, doesn't matter. Yeah, the only difference molding wise is the head, as far as I can tell. Everything else is identical. That, because why not? I decided why not. Here's the other Autobot brothers from Robots in Disguise. There's X-Brawn and well, this isn't RID Prowl, this is Universe Prowl, because, you know, like a lot of people's, my RID Prowl broke. But one day, you know, the door just snapped off. So yeah. So there's the Autobot brothers if you want to see that. And he's got a small head. There you go. So yeah, that's his pretty much his robot mode. Not much else to say really. It's a repaint of Shadow Striker, which, you know, original Shadow Striker was a repaint of Sideburn. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get him transformed. So I'm gonna get this unpegged and get this unpegged, and yeah, then we get started because you can leave this on. Yay! Okay, so first thing is getting this. Just get those up and out of the way, and then untab the backpack and get that up and like that. Just get that up there like that, and kind of get the arms out like so, and then yeah, there's that. Up here at the chest, you want to kind of bring these down a bit so you can bring this chest piece forward like so, and then bring these out the rest of the way. And then there's this little square piece inside there you want to bring out. Hopefully, there we go. Get that out and bring it up in here like that. Take the feet here and bring those up like that. And right here, what you want to do is take these pieces and bring them up like this. Untab and bring them up like so. Keeping them like that. And then you go ahead and take the legs and rotate them back. And there's a slot here, which is going to go over that tab. And this right here, this tab right here is also, this slot right here is going to go over that tab right there. Like so. And hopefully it all lines up nicely and plays nice and doesn't, you know, fight you the entire time like I've been, like every single time. I have no problem transforming Shadow Striker, but he fights me the entire time. Nothing wants to tab in. And get that all tabbed in and get these tabbed in up here. Particularly this tab right here. It's like this one right here is very troublesome. This one is fine. This one's troublesome. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to make sure the knees are tabbed in right there as well. And right here, this is where you bring the chest down and tab the sides and everything, or you're supposed to. Again, mine is very weird. Like you see that there's a gap there that shouldn't be there because this is not going down all the way, and I don't know why. This part right here is not cooperating, and I don't know what its problem is. It doesn't want to sit properly, though. And I don't know what its problem is. I genuinely don't know why it's having such an issue, but it is. Which is frustrating, to say the least, because it's not supposed to sit like that. I can't get it to sit properly. That one sits in just fine. This one will not click down and sit properly. Now it's kind of sitting a little bit better, but anyway, take these doors, bring these in, tab them into the sides like that, and like that. Bring the arms down, and there's slots right here that goes over these tabs right there. Bring those both down, and of course, make sure the hood's out of the way. Bring those both down, push those in, push that in. Just realize it's slightly out of whack. There we go. Push it in, push it in, and then bring this over on the hinge. Whichever arm doesn't really matter. At least it shouldn't matter. Bring it down, and then so this piece will tab in like so. They'll tab in right there. Make sure everything stays tabbed in. Because apparently this is worse on this than the Shadow Striker version. You can see it's wanting to pop itself right back out, which is, in a word, annoying. Yeah, and then take this piece right here and make sure to peg this into the back and peg and tab. And again, that also likes to untab. It's not properly tabbing either. You can see, might be seeing that it's slightly crooked. Yeah, it actually doesn't sit properly. I'm gonna have to just like save tabs down or something because something's not sitting properly. I don't know what. Yeah, but anyways, you got to get it all tabbed in if you can. And then there you go. That's it. And we'll put with that later. But yeah, that's Sideburn in his vehicle mode, or at least it's supposed to be totally in his vehicle mode. But yeah. And yeah, despite, yeah, even looking past the clear issues of it actually staying together in car mode, yeah, it's Shadow Striker's alt mode, which is not a Viper. I got the blue flames, which is cool and all, and it's got the engine and everything, but it's the wrong car. It's not even close to a Viper, and I wish they did something. They didn't, and I can understand possible, like, yeah, sure, maybe if they just said, yeah, it's legal issues, or not in the budget, but sure, it's just like, just so frustrating that it's just this. And on top of that, yeah, it just doesn't just want to tab. This piece and this piece just don't want to tab in properly, no matter what you do. It's just something's off. Like you push down and you have to kind of hold it in place, and even then it'll just pop itself right back out. It just doesn't want to stay in. This doesn't tab in properly. There's a clear, and apparently this is a very common thing. So like, yeah, this is a little frustrating. I mean, you got silver rims, but the problem is like, it's just so frustrating because like, I would be maybe a little more forgiving on it if it was like it fit together properly, but it doesn't. And it rolls, I guess. But yeah, it's just. It doesn't look any. If they just remolded the front end a little bit or something, that would be a lot. I think that'd be a lot better. They did some remolding, but they didn't bother with any remolding. They did none, and that's what I think is really galling about this one. I don't want to be this upset about it, but I am, just because it's like, particularly and mostly because it doesn't work right. It literally isn't working right. And you can pick this on, but I don't care about that because like it doesn't work right. And I'm just kind of mad about that. It doesn't want to stay tabbed in at all. This roof section doesn't want to stay tabbed in. This back section doesn't want to stay tabbed in. You can see just pushing itself right back out. Something's wrong. I don't know what happened, but something happened to the mold between the Shadow Striker and this. And it's just kind of disappointing that this happened. Yeah, so there's that, I guess. It's supposed to roll, and even that sometimes seems a little compromised because stuff untabs itself. Yeah, some comparisons again. Here's Shadow Striker, which, yeah, fits together a lot better. Generally fits together a lot better. Sideburn doesn't, which is really frustrating. Yeah, here's RID Sideburn, which, yeah, looks a lot better because it's a Viper, although I'm noticing some, yeah, stuff there. Yeah, the missile fell out. It has not tabbed in, doesn't tab in as well as it used to. It has been, 22 years or whatever. Been over 20 years, but yeah. So there's that. Way better vehicle mode. I can almost argue because of all the kibble that the new one actually has a better robot mode overall, but vehicle mode, yeah, the old one wins by far. Oh yeah, anyway, here's X-Brawn and Prowl. Again, not RD, this is Universe Prowl, but still. It kind of fits in. It's almost like a Cybertronian version of whatever Sideburn was supposed to be. Yeah, in general, it's just a really frustrating. It's just a frustrating toy because there's just stuff wrong. And again, this part, you can see that's not sitting properly. That doesn't sit properly. This doesn't sit properly. This doesn't sit properly. Yeah, it's frustrating because it's a cleaner transformation than the original. But the car mode just kind of is weak. It's weak just like before, and it doesn't even fit together properly anymore. Something happened and doesn't. And apparently, it's a very, very common problem where just simply things don't tab in properly. I don't know what I can do to fix it. I don't know if it's like there's the tabs are too thick, or if it's like there's a slight like things are off. Yeah, things are just off in such a way that it doesn't work right, and it's just really frustrating. I really wish it wasn't, but it's just really frustrating. It's like this, and I can't recommend it. I hate this. I hate that I can't recommend it because I was hoping that Sideburn would be good, and he's not. It's because the Shadow Striker was fine, but I was really looking forward to Sideburn, and just apparently just frequent QC issues, and also for me just the disappointment that they didn't bother remolding the car mode at all. It's just, yeah, don't bother. You can still get a Robots in Disguise Sideburn actually relatively cheap still. So just don't bother. Just skip this one. It just unsucks because the QC problems are too... If it wasn't for the QC problems, like, oh yeah, maybe, but because of the QC problems, I would just say just don't bother picking this guy up. He's just not worth it. In between the disappointing. But I will say the Robo mode is alright for what it is. It is, I think, cleaner, because it's cleaner overall than the original. It is alright, but yeah, just the transformation fights you a little bit, particularly with the chest pits, and it doesn't even, none of them fits together in the car mode and everything. So I just, yeah, skip it. As far as how much as I hate to say it, that's it. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee and my Patreon. Ash, you'll see you next time with another video review.